much, much needed win. And on the way, we'll get back to Minnesota. Our camera standing by for a guest from the Timberwolves. We'll see how it went tonight and what's the immediate future for this team. Plus, with the biggest force in the Eastern Conference and the biggest lead in the Eastern Conference division, are the Heat the obvious choice to represent the Eastern Conference come finals time? We will assess their chances.
You've never seen anything like this before. Not that. This. The new Icy Hot Sleeve.
Introducing the new Icy Hot Medicated Sleeve, a breakthrough in pain relief. The Icy Hot Sleeve surrounds painful joints with concentrated pain relief that goes on icy to dull the pain, then gets hot to relax it away for hours. The new Icy Hot Sleeve, joint-hugging, stay-put pain relief for elbows, wrists, ankles, and knees.
The new Icy Hot Sleeve, hard-working pain relief.
New hot, fresh toasted subs are here. Like the Chipotle chicken and bacon double cheese melt. Toasted hot inside and out. Subway. Eat fresh.
The multifunctional element from Honda. Where will it take you?
Hey, I'm Jimmy.
I'm Terry.
I'm John.
I'm one of Earthlink's 2,000 employees.
I'm your internet service provider.
Your ISP. I am not a giant server in an air-conditioned room. I'm a living, breathing, hardworking internet person.
Just like you.
I'm watching out for you on the internet 24/7.
We've created spam blocker,
virus blocker,
spyware blocker,
Scam blocker.
If there's a problem, we create a blocker for it.
We love our jobs. We love what we do, and we enjoy it.
We're here to protect and serve you.
More speed, more security, that's Earthlink. Earthlink, we revolve around you.
ESPN's Dream Job returns with a new spin.
Welcome back.
As ESPN searches for the next NBA analyst, former NBA players Dana Barros, Gerald Wilkins, J.R. Reed, Matt Bullard, Dee Brown, and Daryl Dawkins are ready to take their shot at the analyst job.
I don't want no real job.
Oh, I lost it.
If these guys are off their game, they won't stay in ours.
Dream Job.
The new season of Dream Job. Live Sunday, February 27th at 10 on ESPN.
It's in the books in Minnesota. Nets in town to take on Kevin McHale's Minnesota Timberwolves. Vince Carter and Jason Kidd knocking down threes left and right. 3 for 3 for the Nets' first 9 points, and Vince was just heating up. In the post now, 3 white jerseys, no problem. Turnaround falls, part of a 16-1 Nets run. Carter spinning, drives, misses, not a problem. He's got it. Carter and Kidd combined for all 21 Nets points in the first quarter. They're not a diversified offense. Wolves cut into the Nets lead to 4. Watch Michael Olowokandi set the pick, and he is all by his lonesome. T-Wolves down 2. They had their own 12-2 run. Carter. Shouldn't somebody be near him at that point? You
would think they'd find him.
Carter again. That's Vince Carter. Carter and Kidd, 34 of the Nets, 38 first-half points. Carter had 25 at the break. Third quarter, Wolves down 4. Troy Hudson misses the 3. Kevin Garnett had his back. Wolves up 6. Wally Serbiak, bump, bucket, missed the free throw, but the Wolves up 17. Didn't much matter. Then Carter from the top of the key. Oh, that's worth another look. And again. Wow. It's showtime at that point, or at least you thought, because the Wolves were up big. Up by 8 now, less than a minute to go, and you see Carter crumple to the floor. Hard to say what happened. He was obviously done for the night. So were the Nets. Grabbing that left ankle. We'll wait a report on him. And we're going to be around till 11:40 Eastern time, so we should get an update to you as soon as possible. Carter finished with 32 points on the night. He has averaged somewhere around 34 over his last 6 games. But the Wolves get the win to go 1-1 under Kevin McHale. They're still 9th in the West and just a game and a half back of the LA Lakers. Let's bring in Greg and Tim on the Timberwolves. And Legs, you know, I don't want to say this is a huge win here in February, but how important was it for the Wolves under Kevin McHale to get something done?
I think it was important the manner in which they won, because if I was going to say earlier, and unfortunately you guys couldn't hear me, my word for this team was apathetic up to this point in the season, particularly on the defensive end of the floor. So it's good to see them come out and compete, although I wouldn't say the Nets are exactly an offensive juggernaut. They pretty much rely on 2 guys to do all their scoring, but still, to hold a team to 71 points right now is something that they really needed. Because if you look at the reason that they really turned it around last year is because they got after it much more on the defensive end of the floor. They have not done that this year. I think they've allowed their problems offensively, particularly individually, to affect the way these guys got after it defensively and enforce Flip Saunders, to go with Trenton Hassel in the starting lineup and Anthony Carter to get guys that would compete. So it's good to see them win in the manner in which they did.
Well, I'll say for you, Matt, this was a must-win. It was a huge game for a team that was 2 games under 500 heading in. Remember, this is not just a team that we thought would fight for the playoffs. This is a team we thought would fight for a championship. And let's face it, they're struggling with their confidence. And Timmy touched upon the fact that their defense has been lackluster at best this season. Part of that is because offensively, I think they've been a bad team. And by that, I mean, last year they were a great field goal shooting team. They were a low turnover team. Well, when you do those things, it allows you an opportunity to have defense transition, to get back and have an impact on the game. When you don't shoot the ball well from the field, when you turn the ball over a little bit more than they had last season, that also, I think, adds to the dilemma of them being a poor team overall.
Timberwolves out-rebounded the Nets by 11, and that's just the kind of thing that Kevin McHale and others have pointed to. Effort, basic effort, and they're getting a little more of that. We're waiting. Wally Szczerbiak, who we expect to sit down any moment, we'll ask him about what Kevin McHale wants from this team now that he's taken over. In the meantime, let's get back down to Texas. 4th quarter between the Wizards and the streaking Rockets from Houston. Let's listen in once again with Bill Worrell and Van Chancellor on NBA TV.
Right now, I think Washington's having some trouble guarding the pick-and-roll play by Houston, and on the switch and the hedge, and that's where Houston's getting some good looks at the basket.
McGrady. Rise up, Tracy McGrady, one more time. 28 points. 20 points for Yao Ming. That's 48 of Houston's 102. So 3 Big Macs for everybody again tonight, Coach.
I had no doubt about it. I didn't want to go out on the limb since I've been wrong so much.
You wrong? Never.
Oh, yes, but right now, the way the Rockets started this game, they just set the tone for the whole game by the way they played the first quarter.
McGrady again. Tracy McGrady with 30 points.
If the defensive post player does not step out and hedge, Tracy might get 40 tonight.
Tracy McGrady with his 15th 30-point game this season. 7:03 left to play. The Wizards call it.
3 Big Macs for everybody in Houston tonight. So they got that going for them, and it looks like they're going to get themselves a win, up 17 with 7 minutes to go. And Tracy McGrady, you just heard, 30 points. He killed this team last year, averaged nearly 41 a game against the Wizards. That was the most points averaged by any one player against any one team all season long. So he has a little history with Washington, and he's feeling it. He and Yao have a combined 50 points as the Rockets are now in line for their first 8-game winning streak since 1999. Let's look ahead a little bit. It's only All-Star break now, but this team has found its stride offensively now. What kind of an out would they be in the playoffs for somebody?
I think they'd be very difficult. The point I made earlier about Bobby Serra playing at such a high level, it takes pressure off. Again, the guy we don't even talk about, Yao Ming, quietly 20 points, 8 rebounds, solid. And that's now what they can do and win with. They couldn't have won with him just being solid before with the style they played. Now they got a lot of versatility. They got a lot of other guys contributing. Dikembe Mutombo's giving them a nice lift at the backup center position. So they're clicking on all cylinders right now. Again, the question is consistency. Will they be able to maintain this level once we get towards the end of the season and on into the playoffs? If they do, they're going to be tough for anybody to beat.
They've already made a couple of moves with the guards coming in. Is there somebody or another piece they're missing?
I don't think so. I think at this point, this is as good as they're going to be this season in terms of the personnel that they have. Now, obviously, you can get better with Yao Ming in terms of production, but the reality is that they have enough to compete with the teams in that Western Conference. Whether or not they get out of there, I doubt it, but they're definitely heading in the right direction.
Again, the Rockets sitting 6th in the Western Conference. The Minnesota Timberwolves currently 9th in the West, but made a little headway tonight with the win over the New Jersey Nets. We're joined now by Wally Serbiak, who helped get the Timberwolves, Kevin McHale's very first coaching victory. Wally, what was it that Kevin made clear he wanted from you guys short term that you weren't giving Flip Saunders?
I think he just wants us to play hard and really defend the basket. I think in the first half they only had 2 points in the paint, and we've been getting killed in the paint all year. Our big guys really stepped up. He showed a lot of faith in Michael Oakandi and Irvin Johnson, and those two guys played big for us down low, and KG's always good down low. But Candyman had 15 points in the first half and really stepped up and was a sidekick and a wingman for KG, and that's what we need down low. That's what Kevin McHale believes in. He believes in defending the paint, not giving up any layups, and we did a good job of that tonight.
Now, Wally, since you've gone to the bench, you may not love that, but you've been much more effective in terms of giving the team what they need with that spark offensively. But I just want to know, what's wrong with the Minnesota Timberwolves? You tell me what you think your problems are as a basketball team.
It's tough to pinpoint. You know, a lot of plays haven't been going our way. It seems like when teams go on runs, it's just like an avalanche. We can't stop it. We put our heads down and we just don't fire back and we don't compete. Tonight we did a good job. When New Jersey made a couple runs at us, we made some shots down the stretch. We made some plays down the stretch to put them back on their heels. And that's what we got to do a lot more of. It's going to be an attitude overhaul. You know, it's been a lot different with Kevin here, and we got to start executing his game plan. And he's up front, boy. I mean, I've never seen a guy at shoot around call out each individual guy and say, okay, Trenton, we're going to you on the block if they put a small guy on you. Wally, we're coming through you on the second team. Are you going to produce for us? What are you going to do? Candyman, when you get the ball on the block and you have 2 feet in the paint, are you going to score? That's what you're supposed to do. You go ahead and do it. I mean, he just goes right at guys in a good way, too, and tries to motivate them in an interesting way. And I haven't seen it yet in, you know, my whole career, but hopefully it works.
And Wally, coming off of last year and pretty much keeping the team exactly intact, expectations very high. I myself, I know, picked you guys to win a championship coming into the season, as a lot of people really thought you had a chance to. How do you explain a team in that position to come out and be that kind of apathetic almost when the season starts? I mean, I just didn't see the fire and the passion out of this team that I saw last year pretty much the entire season.
There's no question. It started off on the wrong foot in training camp, and anytime you don't come to work and you have other things in the back of your mind and you have, you know, just outside issues that are bothering you and that are affecting your play and affecting your commitment to working hard, that's going to get off on the wrong foot. You know, we got 1 year older. We were an old team to begin with. Sam was coming off his injury. Troy was coming off his injury, and they've been fighting through, just trying to give us something. You know, they weren't expected to be ready at the beginning of the year, but they were, because they fought through their injuries and they tried to give us what they can. And Sam's been up and down with injuries, and we finally now, I think, realized that we're going to have to go without him for a while, and we're not going to be able to rely on him as much as we could have last year, because he hit big shots down the stretch of games for us. And now we're starting to find ways to win games, moving the ball, running execution offense, and not just running pick and rolls every time down the floor.
You know, it's interesting, Wally, what you said a little earlier, and this is not an indictment on Flip Saunders, because I think Flip's a very good basketball coach, but the fact that you mentioned Kevin McHale, a different voice, a different mindset, a different approach, does that help change the attitude? Do you think that gives this team a little bit more confidence, brings about that sense of urgency?
Well, there's no disputing we have some strong personalities on this team, boy. And, you know, we got a lot of individuals who, you know, want to go their own way, want to do their own thing. And they're very strong-headed, but good basketball players and talented basketball players. I mean, you look at the resumes of some of the guys on the teams, and they've accomplished it all, except winning a championship. And that's what we need to do, and that's what a guy like Kevin McHale has done. He can just flash those 3 rings at us and says, hey, you're not going to listen to me, you're not going to follow my lead, look at what I can do for you guys. And hopefully that voice will carry over, and hopefully we can continue to play well like we did tonight.
Well, congratulations, Wally. We appreciate the time, and I know our producer, Mike Schiffman, a Miami of Ohio graduate, is very, very excited to have you. Another Red Hawk out there. Nice going. We'll talk to you down the road.
I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, guys.
Wally Serbiak here on NBA Nation to take another live look in from the Kings and the Chicago Bulls. Here we go. Let's go to Chicago and look in on the Kings and the Chicago Bulls. Kings have beaten the Bulls 11 straight times going back to 1998. This is a different Bulls squad, obviously, and it's an 81-all game with 7 minutes and change to go. Let's listen in.
Right there, and there's a foul called. Luol Deng will be called for the hold on Evans trying to make the cut. The first on the Bulls. Sacramento with 3 team fouls.
They've got 3 team fouls, and they were all shooting fouls.
Bibby right back to Brad Miller for the jumper. 17.7 rebounds, 5 assists for Brad Miller. He does it all very well.
They just don't guard that big man. Don't come out.
Gordon goes right by Mobley.
Sacramento up 83-81 final minutes, and this is where Chicago's gotten so much better end of games.
Well, that play right there is exactly what we talked about earlier in our meeting. Energy, effort plays, hustle plays. That's the difference with the Chicago team. Those athletes, they're going to be more apt to want to go on the floor. When you're a little bit older, you tend to think about diving on that floor for a loose ball. It's a little more instinctive. See, that hesitation by Bibby, Ben Gordon's already down picking up that basketball. That leads to a basket. That type of momentum play, sometimes that will propel you on to victory.
Sometimes the body thinks a little for you.
It
the
does.
ball's on the floor.
And I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah.
Seesaw all the way down the stretch.
But also, you know, Sacramento, they pick up the foul. The one thing they do as well as anybody, I think, not only do they pass the ball as well as anybody playing, but they move without the basketball. That's what makes them so hard to defend. All those guys can pick you apart. They put different guys in different positions. And we talked about earlier, Mike Bibby, I mean, he's arguably having as good a year as anybody at the point other than Steve Nash, and nobody's really quite talking about it. It's unfortunate he's not going to be in the All-Star game.
Kings without Peja Stojakovic tonight. He hurt his hamstring the other night. Didn't play past the first quarter in that game as Sacramento turns it back over with Chicago coming the other way. Ben Gordon. He's been a spark for this team.
No, he's played really well. It's funny, I was talking with Coutinho Mobley earlier, and, you know, he's been there now for several games. He's not practiced. They've not practiced one time since he's been on this roster, which is striking. I mean, it's a part of the process in the NBA because you play so many games, it's hard to find practice time, but the fact that they've not had one.
That is amazing, and he's been there long enough now, you would think.
It's hard, but a part of it, though, they don't play a lot of bodies, so they can't afford to go out and kill guys in practice knowing they got to compete on a nightly basis.
It'll make it tougher to learn the offense, especially one as complex as Sacramento's with all the moving without the ball and the cuts and whatnot.
That's a great point.
Kings up 85-84. We'll check back in on that game in a little while. Brad Miller has 19 against his former team, Chicago Bulls. Eddie Curry leads the Bulls, trying to get 2 games over 500. We spoke a little earlier with Lawrence Frank, head coach of the New Jersey Nets. We saw Vince Carter crumble at the end of the game with the Timberwolves. Final minute there, it looked like he grabbed his left ankle. Coach Frank tells us he's fine. That's great news for the New Jersey Nets. The way their offense is going right now,
well,
he's it.
He is their offense right now. He and Jason Kidd. They're going to have to get somebody else going if this team wants to win games.
Much more ahead on NBA Nation, including a little trade talk as the deadline looms now. Just 9 days away. Who's going? Who's nervous? Who should be packing their bags at this point? Plus, Kobe Bryant back in a Laker uniform for the first time in more than a month now. Number 8, wearing the home uni. We'll get out for the tip with the Lakers and Jazz after this.
Wednesday, an all-new Lost, an all-new Alias. First.
I've never been in love.
I've never had a one-night stand.
Never.
What did she give you? Nothing she wasn't willing to borrow, man.
Say never.
I never killed a man. It's not worth it.
Then, the only thing better than a secret agent who can kick butt is a sister just like her.
Yeah, you think?
An all-new Lost, an all-new Alias, starting Wednesday at 8, 7 Central, only on ABC.
The newly redesigned 2005 Jeep Liberty Get 0 Plus, 0% financing plus February bonus cash for total savings of up to $6,800 on Liberty.
Later this year, we're launching the first of several new satellites that together will deliver over 1,500 high-definition channels across the country. It's part of DirecTV's commitment to the best TV experience. Your TV's ready. Are you?
What are you holding now?
A six-pack.
A six-pack? Brilliant! What's it do?
Well, I figured out how to carry 6 beers at the same time.
Carry 6 beers at the same time? Brilliant! Let's drink them.
You know, I've been thinking, it might not be the smartest idea to drink 6 beers at the same time.
Don't drink 6 beers at the same time? Brilliant!
Brilliant! Drink Guinness Draught straight from the bottle, and always enjoy it responsibly.
Brilliant!
EA Sports. Welcome back to NBA Nation with your host, Matt Wider.
Tomorrow night on ESPN at 9 Eastern, the Sonics super duo of Ray Allen and Rashard Lewis host Jason Richardson and the Golden State Warriors. NBA Wednesday on ESPN, 9 Eastern time. Ray Allen, he's playing as well as anybody out there.
Seattle's playing as well as anybody.
Minnesota played well enough for Kevin McHale's first head coaching victory tonight, and the new head coach of the Wolves joins us live on NBA Nation. Kevin, thanks for being with us. What kinds of things did you see tonight from your team that you hadn't seen throughout the struggles of this season?
Well, you know, we gave up too many offensive rebounds, but we got to the offensive glass. We outscored the opponents in the paint, and we got to the line more than they are. Those are the things, the effort things that you got to see. I'm relying on my assistant coaches for a lot of help. I'm just here to try to get the effort level back up, and you know, the game's played on heart and effort, and you know, all that X and the O and all that talent doesn't mean crap if you don't go out there and compete and try to, you know, we got to get to the point where you're trying to attack every single night, and hey, you know, it's a war out there. You got to punch that guy in the mouth before he punches you in the mouth.
You know, Kevin, just looking at you right now, it seems like this has to be one of the most stressful seasons you've ever gone through, with the expectation level being as high as it was. And it seems like, just talking with Wally earlier, having a different voice, which it sounds strange, but it seems like that works somewhat. Because even the Chicago game, you guys played a lot harder on the defensive end than you've had all season long.
No, we fought hard. You know, we had no Wally, we had no Freddie. You know, yesterday at practice, Freddie came in and he was wearing these goggles, and I said, guys, Freddie got poked in the eye and he had blurry vision. They put goggles on him in the Chicago game, and he came out and he tried to rejoin the team. And I said, man, after we lost, when Freddie came in, I said, Freddie, just your willingness to join the fight, just your willingness to come in here and fight with your teammates, that means something. You couldn't do it because you couldn't see. But, you know, just because you were stepping up and trying to fight, that's what it's all about, guys. Hell, anybody in this league can play when you're healthy and you feel good and you're rested. This league is not about that. This league is what you got when you're dog-dead tired, you got no legs, nothing's going your way, your shot's not going down. Can you help your team win? And that's what, you know, and the answer for a lot of guys is no. But for the guys that want to win, the answer is yes.
Hey, Kevin, knowing your long relationship that you've had with Flip Saunders over the years, how difficult was it for you to make the decision to go in a different direction? And did your relationship actually prolong that decision maybe longer than you would have if it hadn't been the case?
Oh, you know, it's always hard to say. I'm sure that played into it. I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, there's nothing I wish for more than Flip coaching this team when I was playing really well right now. I would rather be driving to the games with my son at 6 o'clock and picking him up after school and spending time with my 11-year-old kid than I would coaching the team. I'd rather do my general managership duties. But, you know, I just felt that effort and everything else. People pay too much money in this league for tickets to go out there and not watch these guys play hard. And playing hard used to be a given. Now it's a skill. And sometimes that skill, just like your ball handling, just like your shooting, just like your boxing out technique that has to be honed, and you hone that aggression and that effort every day in practice and with your expectation level of everybody. And as I told the players, this is not about playing for me. It's about playing for yourselves. It's about playing for each other in this locker room. It's about being 100% accountable to your teammate every day in practice and every night in the game. And that's, hopefully we can get to that.
Well, Kevin, we can hear your horse. I know you have to go. We appreciate the time. Thanks very much. Congratulations on getting on the board as a coach, albeit a reluctant coach, but getting on the board as a coach. I'm sure somewhere Red Auerbach is smiling.
Well, I hope so. I learned from a lot of very, very good coaches along the years, and you know what? And every one of them that I admired the most, they had one thing in common. They were disciplined. You went out and you did your job. You didn't worry what the next guy did. You just went out there, you put your head down, and you swung when things weren't going good, and that's what we got to do.
Well, good luck turning things around. We appreciate it, Kevin.
Thank you.
Let's check out the Nuggets-Hawks game that's gone final in Atlanta. There's Carmelo Anthony.
The Nuggets have been swinging lately.
A little bit.
Oh, so was Mr. Smith.
Apparently not bound by gravity. Atlanta up by 13. Francisco Elson. Oh, Francisco Elson, or Elston is.
Dude, that was close. We know who you're talking about.
Kenyon Martin.
Oh!
Carmelo Anthony.
A lot of O's in this game.
A lot of O's. Antoine Walker, nice little floater in the paint. That's pretty. Oh. Hawks up 3.
Oh!
Miller.
There we go. Is that like the baby corn rolls?
Anthony. Fade away. Buckets. In a 98 or 96 all game, Anthony had 22. Boris Diaw, then the inbounds, not so much. That's the way it ended. Nuggets win at 100-96. Anthony again with 22 to go with 6 rebounds. Twan had 22 for Atlanta, and Denver now 7-3 under head coach George Karl. Up to the moment standings in the Western Conference as we check out 8 through 11, and Denver very much in the picture, sitting on the 10 spot, 2.5 back of the Lakers, who are about to tip off with the Utah Jazz. Timberwolves, as of right now, again, pending the Laker result now, just a game back. It's funny because we've buried them for dead about 6 times, and they're still there.
You know what? The bottom of the West is eerily reminiscent to the Atlantic Division because the Clippers have lost 6 in a row, and yet they're still only 3.5 out of the 8th spot for the playoffs.
Let's go 3-man weave now on the Western Conference playoff picture. Greg, let's start with you. Who's going to get the 8th spot?
Well, you know what? It might be a matter of who backs into it, but I really think that the Denver Nuggets are the team best equipped to get there because I think they're the most complete team. Now, they don't have the best player in Kobe Bryant or Kevin Garnett, but I think they have the best collection of talent, particularly on the defensive end. When you combine a Kenyon Martin and a Marcus Camby, those guys stay healthy. They give you a lot of athleticism, and they give you a lot of versatility on their front line. And Carmelo Anthony, I think, offensively is really starting to figure out how to play the game with his teammates.
I was stunned to look at the standing and see that the Lakers still have a winning record, even having not played with Kobe Bryant for a dozen games or so. Greg, you said it for me. I believe that it always comes down to who has the best player. Certainly the supporting cast isn't great, but I think Kobe's going to find a way to get it done.
I got to go with the Nuggets here. I like their schedule for the rest of the season a lot better than the Lakers' schedule. And just with Minnesota's injuries, we just heard from Wally Szczerbiak. Sam Cassell is banged up, but also Kevin Garnett playing with some serious knee pain. And I just wonder if he's going to be able to get back to where he needs to be to try to carry this team to the playoffs. Plus, I never disagree with Greg Anthony, so I'm going with the Nuggets.
Mark gets smarter every week.
Well, I guess that makes me disagree with my partner because I'm going to go with the Minnesota Timberwolves. I think that this might be just the thing that this team needs, some sort of a trigger now to get them to understand how vastly they underachieved and how they're viewed. And now Kevin McHale's a guy that obviously is going to try to come in there. Now, I know might not be the X's and O's guys that they need, but that's not what they need right now. This team has the pieces to be a playoff team. They just need to understand the effort that it takes. Kevin McHale and a new voice, a new direction might be just the thing to get that team playing better basketball. And, you know, with the Lakers, with Kobe being out as long as he was and their schedule being as tough, Clippers, I knew would wake up and find out they were the Clippers. They just looked in the mirror recently, I guess, and realized who they were. Denver and Minnesota. It's going to come down to those two teams.
I'm no math major, but I think we just slipped a fourth man into the three-man weave. That is bonus coverage for
well,
you
we
at home.
sometimes run the four-man weave.
You got a trailer. You got, tell him, Greg, tell him you got a trailer sometime.
Matt doesn't play a lot. He only plays pickup.
Four-man weave gets a little complicated occasionally. All right, guys, we roll on here on NBA Nation. Coming up, we'll get to the finish in Chicago between the Kings and the Bulls. It's a tight one there as we're now just about a minute to go at United Center. Also ahead, Mavericks getting ready to get to it out in Golden State after some impressive wins on their road trip. Kings and Sonics, Warriors up next. We'll check in.
Introducing the all-new Kia Spectra 5. It's ready for anything. Are you?
The chicken enchilada grilled stuffed burrito.
What about this one? Oh, don't touch. Yeah.
Hey guys, chicken enchiladas. Like ours. Smothered in melty, saucy, cheesy goodness.
Smothered?
On the inside.
The chicken enchilada grilled stuffed burrito from Taco Bell. Slow simmered savory enchilada sauce, tender all white meat chicken and melted cheese. Wrapped up, then grilled to go.
So what's that word?
For enchilada taste, think outside the bun.
On the next Tilt.
It's all yours, Eddie. Membership has its privileges.
The big game is on.
Eddie's in position. We've got our bankroll. Let's go and hurt Everest.
But the rules
I'm placing you under arrest, Nickel.
are changing.
This town doesn't think too highly of cheaters.
And what happens next will shock you. Tilt, Thursday at 9 p.m. on ESPN. Presented by Toyota.
Very funny satellite TV. You promote one price, and then you throw in a bunch of extra fees and charges. There's the local channels, the extra equipment, and then you go and charge for additional TVs, too. Except I'm not laughing. I'm sticking with Cox. They include local channels and free cable on additional TVs. I even get free high-def programming on top of it, all with no equipment to buy. Don't get stuck with satellite.
Make a smooth approach. Make smooth contact with Electric Shave Pre-Shave Lotion. Stands up whiskers for up to a 52% closer shave. Electric Shave. Blade close, electric smooth.
When I had a cold sore, I wouldn't leave my cube. But then my pharmacist recommended Herpes L. It helps heal cold sores fast. Moisturizers help prevent cracking. And it even has SPF 30. Herpes L. Every day.
Back on NBA Nation, Kings, Bulls, pretty good game. 97-93. Look at the rookie Ben Gordon around the screen, splits the D and the floater.
Freddie, he is definitely their go-to guy down the stretch.
He said he's their Mariano Rivera, I think, earlier in the season.
Yeah, he's the closer.
Yeah.
He's the finisher. He's the
got
punisher.
19, and he is trying to finish him off. Kings have just put up another bucket, so they're back within 4 with 1:09 left to go. Bibby has 21. Brad Miller has 20 for Sacramento. One of the stories of the night is Grant Hill. He and the Magic at home against the Clippers. Grant Hill's 50th game this season. He played 48 in his first 3 in Orlando. Elton Brand, he be jammed. Team high 21 points. Clips up early. Steve Francis to Kelvin Cato. 7 dishes for Francis. Magic up 5. 4-point game. Backdoor cut by Hill and the nifty lay-in.
Pretty.
Orlando up 7. Into the third quarter now. It's a 1-point game. Doug Christie, this is why I got him. Defense. Pushes it to Hill.
And he learned how to pass when he's in Sacramento.
Sure. Corey Maggette then deflected.
Knows how to use his face.
Yeah. It's an important skill for a defender. Know how to use your head. Then Hill working over the Clips to the rack. Bought 2, got 1 free. He had a career Magic career high, I should say, 39 points. Francis then to put it away for good. Crossover, pull up. 16 for him. Magic 99-94. Hill also grabbed his 4,000th career rebound in this game, the 7th active player with at least 10,000 points, 4,000 boards, and 3,000 assists. There is the list. See Kevin Garnett right ahead of him there.
A lot of Hall of Famers on that list.
It's a pretty good list. All right, to L.A. we go. Jazz in town. More importantly for Lakers and their fans, Kobe Bryant in uniform tonight. Early on, Jazz Lakers, Paul Sunderland and Stu Lance are on the mic for Fox Sports Los Angeles.
Especially the guards yell out what the shot clock situation is. You know, I talked about Roger Bell trying to defend Kobe. I mean, what can you do against this guy unless you get some help from your teammates? The last thing you tell your teammates in the locker room is, get ready to hear that four-letter word, help.
Kobe down on the block once again. Turns, fadeaway jump shot, fell away a long way. Turned about a 12-foot start into about an 18-foot make.
There's nothing you can do with that. Nothing at all.
Lopez to the rim, kicks it outside, move both feet to get his balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see players do it all the time. I love the ones where players catch it 20 feet out, back up without everything on the floor, Stu. Back up behind the three-point line. Caron Butler, a little mini run for the Lakers. They lead at 12-8.
And they've got to get Caron really involved in this game. That's his first shot, and they played 7.5 minutes.
Humphreys dribble drive, stopped by Medvedenko, not there. Harpering, ever active on the offensive board, has it tipped away. Brian Cook running the floor. Nice pass to Caron Butler on the trail.
Oh, that brought Jerry Sloan off the bench in absolute hurry. He is livid with his team as the Lakers go on an 8-0 run and open up the biggest lead of the game.
That was pretty.
That was pretty. You know, the other thing I noticed there, the Lakers are starting to run a lot more triangle. I think that's going to help them down the stretch because I think the key for them is going to be Kobe Bryant playing without the basketball. That's what's going to allow these other guys to have a rhythm and an effectiveness out there, and that might make Rick Bucher right and get them in the playoffs.
Maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe. Kobe with 6 points early on as the Lakers try to get Frank Hamlin his second win as the interim head coach. Less than a buck to go in Chicago. Bulls leading by 2. Here's Ben Gordon one more time. Into the paint, spins, fade away.
Buckets!
Wow. He could be like Lee Smith used to do and just sleep like in the locker room until about the 7th inning and then walk out.
Well, he's the closer. He's Rivera. He could also be the Rookie of the Year.
13 ticks to go there. It's 102-98, and the Bulls are on the free throw line right now. We'll show you the final here in a moment. Coming up on NBA Fast Break, the conclusion of the Wizards and Rockets as Houston puts it on the Wiz. Big scoring night for Houston. Plus, with the Pacers struggling to find themselves in the Final 8 in the Eastern Conference, where might Ron Artest find himself in the process? Possibly not Indiana.
The NCAA Women's Basketball Championship begins March 19th.
If you do your best thinking in the shower, imagine how smart you'll get under the new shower heads at Holiday Inn Express.
Proving that my client is innocent.
Case dismissed.
5. Next. I'd like to patent the dog talker. Nice hair. Holy. Deficit's gone, Mr. President. Terrific. Which accounting firm are you with? Oh, I'm not an accountant. But I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Stay smart. Stay at a Holiday Inn Express.
Here we go.
Hey, you guys need a tow?
Sure.
Best friends, you're there when I need you. Best
Dodge Ram. It's everything you've ever dreamed of. In one powerful truck.
Man, that was sweet. For you.
Grab 0 Plus. 0% financing plus package discounts plus February bonus cash for total savings up to $9,000.
RBK Pumps, inflatable shoes for a custom fit.
There's so much we can do now. We can add new appliances.
Our family can finally have new floors.
At the Home Depot, you can. We're driving down costs every day in every department. And now through Wednesday, use your Home Depot consumer credit card and take advantage of no payments, no interest for 12 months on everything in flooring, kitchen, and decor. You can afford to do it now.
At the Home Depot, you can do it. We can help.
Color, ink, and toner are guaranteed in stock at Office Max. So you'll always have it when you need it.
Creeping up on the top of the hour, time for another fast break here on NBA Nation. Lakers and Jazz. Kobe, first start in more than a month on his home floor. And Kobe into the purple paint for the lay-in very early on. I'm not going to give you a 16-10 score. It's the first quarter.
Yeah, that's
What do you expect? Mavericks, Warriors. Dirk. The Mavs try to go 3-0 on that road trip after big wins in Sacramento and Seattle. It's 28-24 there. Kings, Bulls. This is a good one. Kings up by 3. Coutinho to Chris for the oop.